Have you ever swallowed words so many times that it felt like a weight on your chest? Tonight, we give voice to the truth that you've carried quietly for so long, the truth your soul has been waiting for you to release. Speak the words because they are the spell that will set you free. Welcome to Maiden Mother Crone Tarot, where we hold sacred space for divine divergence, also known as ADHD. Today is day 28 of the 0303 series, where I'm showing up for 30 days, bringing messages of joy, hope, and support for women with ADHD. My name is Kayla, and I'm so glad you're here today. If you've been watching my lives, you know that I've been working through some blockages in my throat chakra. So just to give you a heads up, there may be some interruptions with coughing. I have my warm chamomile tea here with some honey, and I've been working on consciously releasing those blocks. But as I was sitting with the energy, shuffling the cards, working with the archetypes, trying to figure out what tonight's message would be about, the idea of truth, of the things unspoken, kept coming through. And so I knew that would be our topic for tonight. So I invite you, when we're doing our breath work this evening, to ground into this space, to go ahead and begin opening up the door to your subconscious, the door to the hidden room where all the truths you were too afraid to speak have been stowed away. In my lives, I invite you to join me in breathwork exercises. This is a phenomenal way for women with ADHD to regulate their nervous systems, to slow down, to step in the present moment, the only moment that exists, the only moment that matters, to get in touch with your body so you can listen to the messages it's been trying to tell you. Excuse me. Tonight we will do 3 rounds of breath, breathing in for 6 through the nose, holding for 2, and breathing out for 8. I invite you to settle into your seat, maybe sway a little. Release the energies, release the worries, release the cares of the day. Know that here you are seen, here you are heard, here you are safe. And we come together in sacred sisterhood to uplift one another. Again, we'll do 3 rounds of breathing. Are you ready? Let's begin. Thank you so much for participating in that with me. Continue to scan your body. See if you have any tightness, any tension stored in any part. Bring gentle awareness to that location and breathe into those tight, tense places. On your inhales, bringing love. On your exhales, releasing fear. Over and over, as many times as needed. You can continue doing that throughout tonight's reading. I want to show you one thing I've been doing as I've been working with this throat chakra blockage that I've been dealing with in preparation for Monday's finale of this series. Because I'll be using my voice in new ways and I'm excited. But my body has been adjusting, right? It's not used to that. So it's scary to my body, even though my soul is singing. So, one exercise I've been doing to open my throat chakra, to release the blockages and allow the energy to flow through me, is putting my hand on my throat and doing breathing work. And when I'm breathing and speaking aloud, right? Speaking my truth that I am free to speak. I am safe to express my voice. People want to hear the truth that comes from my throat. I speak truth and I speak clarity. I speak what is aligned with my soul. So when we're doing this exercise tonight, when we start reading the tarot, whenever these truths come up, whatever they may be, I invite you to speak the words. And if you can't, do that exercise to clear the blockages that are preventing you from letting your soul be free. In my pre-shuffle, I was working with the energies. The Four of Pentacles came out quite a lot. The Nine of Pentacles came out quite a lot. And the Nine of Swords came out quite a lot. So 4 and 9s. Don't know if those are your angel numbers or if they're significant numbers to you. We'll see if they come out in the reading. That's been happening a lot throughout this series. So it's like the energy archetypes are giving me a little heads up. I can feel what it is you've been carrying, my friends. So I'm just trying to open up to be able to channel this energy freely, to speak the words you need to hear. In my tarot practice, I work with 3 spiritual archetypes: the archetype of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. I dedicate oracle and tarot decks to these specific archetypes to strengthen my connection with them, to find clarity, and as an offering, as an offering of gratitude and appreciation for the countless words of wisdom they poured into my life. The first deck we'll be working with is the Maiden. Tonight, I felt extremely led to only work with the tarot. I did not feel like I needed to pull any oracle cards, and I feel like it's because the message needs to come through clearly. And if there's too much on the table, I can be overwhelmed by how much needs to be read. So I'm trusting, surrendering to this process and understanding, going into this reading with the understanding that Spirit is going to use the words. I am stepping aside. Spirit is going to come through and help illuminate what you've been too afraid to speak, what you need to release, the spell that is going to change everything in your life. Maiden, can you please give us guidance tonight for this ADHD collective? What truth have they been too afraid to speak? Get the Two of Cups. What truth do they need to release? What truth has their soul been waiting for them to release? We got the Two of Cups, the World, and the Five of Cups. So that's a lot of emotion energy there. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. Excuse me, my friends. So again, there's 4 cards on the table. I spoke about earlier how I had 4s and 9s coming through, so and we have the 10 of cups on the bottom of the deck. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, maiden. So we got the 2 of cups. The world. The 5 of cups. And the Page of Pentacles. The next archetype we are going to work with tonight is the mother. Mother, can you please give us guidance tonight for this ADHD collective on what truth they have been too afraid to speak? What truth their soul has been waiting for them to release? The spell, the perfect spell to restore balance in their life. When they step into the power of their truth, the power of their words. Guidance tonight, please, maiden. I'm so sorry, please, mother. Guidance tonight, mother. Got the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Two of Swords. So we had all emotions at the top with the grounded at the end. And then here we start with the grounded energy and we move through the swords. It's the Page of Page of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And again, the maiden ended with the Page of Pentacles. So we have 2 pages, 2 students here, 2 curious energies, energies of learning, energies of growth, energies of beginnings, right? So again, the first card, I keep saying that. First card we got is the Ace of Pentacles, followed by the Queen of Swords. When I looked at this energy, this card, the energy that came through was very overpowering. And then we have the Three of Swords. And the Two of Swords. Okay. The last archetype we will work with tonight is the Crone. Crone, can you please give us guidance tonight for this ADHD collective on what truth they've been too afraid to speak? What their soul has been waiting for them to release. The spell that will rewrite their entire lives. What messages, please, Crone? Okay, that's interesting. The deck doesn't want to. It's being, feels jabby, like rough edges, jabby. It's hard to put your hand around it. That's what it felt like. Even though earlier when I was cleansing the deck and working with it, everything was flowing smoothly. Thank you, Crone. Thank you. Guys, these archetypes, they show up. Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So all of the bottom of the deck energies are the Ten of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. Okay. The first card is the Ten of Wands, followed by the King of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Justice card. You guys, this card is so beautiful. She has the eyes that just pierce through your soul, right? This is your soul speaking here. This is that spell coming forth. So as soon as I got the Two of Cups in the world, A very specific message came through. And I wasn't going to share it, but I definitely feel like it is the message that needs to be shared. Excuse me. The Two of Cups is the partnership card. Now, this could be friendship, this could be a business partner. But when I saw it, followed by the world and the Five of Cups, it immediately reminded me of a relationship with a significant other, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, um, partner, someone that you're very intimate with, that you share your life with, that you believed you had divine union with, right? So the order of these cards, right? Two of Cups, followed by the world. So to me, that was the ending of that relationship. Because then we immediately have this Five of Cups. This is grief, regret, disappointment. Focusing on these cups here instead of the ones that are still standing, right? Maybe in this relationship, you had really tied your identity into the relationship with this person. There was not really a sense of a singular person, right? Your identity and their identity were like crossed together. Maybe you have all the same friends, so you were always with the same people. And when this ending came through, when this cycle completed, this relationship, whether that was mutually agreed upon or something that you weren't prepared to release, it brought a lot of grief. And maybe that grief, like we have these three cups. So maybe that grief is you didn't just lose this person, you also lost the friends and you lost the activities because they were the one that went and did all of the things you love to do with. So that it was like this trifecta of loss in your life. And it was heavy. It was heavy because you had to completely start over. You had to figure out who you were, figure out if you could keep the same hobbies or if those hobbies were going to continue to remind you of this person and those friends and the entire situation. So to prevent that pain from coming up over and over and over again, you either did or you're about to step into the Page of Cups or Page of Pentacle energy. Being this student of yourself, student of your body, of what makes you feel happy, what brings you joy, student of what makes you feel safe, student of who you can trust. Maybe there was some betrayal here, some confidence spoken and some betrayal. And the Page of Pentacles is more cautious, right? Slower, steady. So maybe you rushed into this relationship before. You weren't fully prepared. You didn't know enough about the situation. Maybe it was an irrational, sporadic, impulsive relationship that you began. And while it grew into something very meaningful for you, if you had been in the Page of Pentacles energy before, maybe you wouldn't have been swayed to go into the relationship. Maybe you would have been able to save yourself that heartache and that grief. But this came out underneath the Two of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles. And it's really hard, especially if this is a fresh loss. It's really hard to see how the pain that you're experiencing, how the humility or the humiliation, the isolation, it's hard to see how that can be a gift, right? All the aces are gifts, are opportunities, are that divine blessing from spirit And so the relationship, while it ended, while it did give you this Five of Cups energy, right? Overwhelming, unable to see the cups in the back, right? And one of those cups is this Ace of Pentacles. It's an opportunity for you to disidentify, not sure if that's a word, with this person, this relationship, this whole identity that came as a package, right? And plant the seeds of your true self, of your authenticity, of what lights you up, of your true passions. Maybe you sacrificed a lot of your passions and just began doing what this other person wanted you to do. Maybe you stopped watering your soul. You didn't stay in a safe, you didn't continue to take care of yourself, show yourself self love. This relationship, maybe it isolated you in a way where no one knew what you were going through. But because of that, it is now this Ace of Pentacles opportunity to reflect on it, to look back and see, now I'm going to choose me. I'm going to plant the seeds. I'm going to water myself, water my soul, and I'm going to speak up for myself. I'm not going to agree to go do something just because somebody else wants to, and I love them so much and I'm afraid that I'll upset them. You're going to speak your truth, and that could be anything. It could be, no, I'm not going to do that. It could be, I need you to show up for me in a different way. If you're not familiar with the book, The Five Love Languages, I highly recommend checking it out. So use your voice. It's not selfish to say, I need you to show up for me in this way, especially if you are in a true partnership where you're showing up for them. You're pouring into the relationship. But we need to have balance, right? Balance where it is partnership that is equally distributed between both of you. So we don't repeat the patterns of this previous relationship. The next card is the Queen of Swords, and it came out under the World card. And to me, when it came out, I told you the energy was so strong. That relationship needed to end. Maybe you're having a hard time letting it. Maybe you want to revive it. Maybe you want to breathe life into it. But Spirit is telling you no. No, you have that relationship. Pain with this Three of Swords. Think of all of this pain that you were caused in the relationship, all of the sorrow. If you got back into it and it ended again, you'd have the same thing. You wouldn't know who you are. You wouldn't know what you're going through. Hi, Crystal. I see you. I'm doing well. How are you? Welcome to this reading. The Three of Swords is heartbreak, right? And maybe this is your soul. Maybe your soul was slowly dying. You refuse to stand in your Queen of Swords energy, to claim what is rightfully yours. But now you're at the Two of Swords. You're in the void. You're in this empty space, the blankness, and you're trying to understand where to go next. What am I supposed to do next? And the answer is clear. The answer is choose you. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if choosing you makes you look bad, makes you look selfish. How could that make you look selfish, right? But we always have this chatter in our minds, in the back of our minds, that distracts us from what we really need to do. Like we think we have clarity. We're like, oh yes, I'm going to do this. And then we let our subconscious ego come in and you can't do that. People won't accept it. People are going to be like, oh, you're already doing that? You just broke up, right? But there's no judgment here on whatever you need to do, however you need to process this, however you need to release it, right? I highly encourage you to sit with these emotions. They are heavy. They are difficult. But if you don't process them, if you don't allow them to be there, they're just going to get stored as tension, as pain, as blockages in your body. And that doesn't serve you. You've been given the Ace of Pentacles. This is the opportunity to start over, to start not from the beginning. There is a Reiki practitioner in my area, and she posted something today that said, um, starting over, but not from the beginning, right? Tia, if you're watching this, love you. How can we understand that it may feel like we're starting from the beginning, but we're not? Because we have these lessons. And when we choose to pour into our souls, when we choose to pour into the things that are right for our soul and this alignment that we have, even when we're not sure it's going to lead anywhere, even when we're not sure it's actually going to grow, we don't know how old the seeds are, right? We don't know if they're actually going to germinate, but we're doing it anyway. We're at a crossroads where we can continue to live in the same patterns we've lived over the course of our life, or we can finally step up and use our voice as our power and as our truth and as our tool to create the life that we demand. A life that is fulfilling with the Ten of Cups, that is ultimate happiness. A life that's magnetized to us by speaking our truth, no matter how heavy it may be. Maybe your truth is expressing the trauma and the pain and the things that you were forced to suffer through. And it may not be in this relationship that's ending, but maybe those wounds, because they were suppressed, played into the failure of this relationship, right? If we have unhealed wounds, it comes out. It comes out, and it's always in the relationships that we have that are the closest. But you're going to learn. Oh, we got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, guys. These two are the magnetic ones, right? The ones who have a vision, that are visionary, right? That know how to ask the right people to get the things. Ask, use your throat. Step into this. Don't be afraid, right? And maybe whenever the next person comes around and you decide, I'm ready to try again, maybe you will be the one speaking to this King of Wands, opening up the opportunity because you are so in your power. You are so in your truth. We have the Empress under that as well. We are so used to speaking our truth. We've done it. We've worked up the exercise. We've done it over and over and over again because we have this community with the Three of Cups. This community right here, showing up for you, allowing you to have safe space to talk about what you're going through. Let me know in the comments. What has been the hardest part of this relationship that you've had to let go? What is the truth of it that you are afraid to speak? Is it that you're afraid that it's your fault? Are you afraid that the failure of this relationship is your fault? We can sit with that, but speak it because your words are the spell that unbinds your soul and allows you to step into a new reality. We're here to support you into your path as you're moving through all of this pain, as you're learning the lessons. We're here so that you can have the justice your soul has needed. You've carried this quietly, alone, for too long. And the fair and just thing is for your soul to have somewhere to speak it without judgment, without fear of judgment, without someone trying to solve the problem for you right away. Now, I fall into that energy a lot, guys. I'm a fixer. I love to fix things. And honestly, problems are like puzzles to my brain. So it's just wired to fix things. So I'm trying to learn how to step out of that energy a bit and step more into the just listening and then asking, what do you need from me? Right? Because you may not need advice. You may not need practical guidance, right? You may just need to speak it, to finally speak the truth, speak the words. And that could be enough justice for your soul. Because when you speak it, that means you are consciously aware of it. And that is one of the biggest parts of moving on and healing. When it's in the forefront of her consciousness, of her awareness, we no longer ignore it. We can see every time that we're triggered, and it's because of that wound. It's because of that truth. And that's how your soul ultimately gets justice. That's how your soul ultimately moves into this clarity energy, this magnetic energy of the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Excuse me. Ooh. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what it is that you're carrying because there's so many people watching this. And while the message is rather specific and may not resonate with everyone, even the ones that the message resonates for, it's going to be very different. But I can tell you this much. I may not know what you're going through, but I know the weight of heartbreak that I have carried in my life, the weight of carrying it alone for years. I recently just released a bunch of emotional baggage last November, so almost a year ago. And it was one of the most freeing experiences of my life. My soul was so happy that day. So I encourage you to do that as well. It doesn't matter how you need to express it. Maybe you need to write a letter. Write a letter to yourself that was in this relationship that failed. Hi, Crystal. Write a relationship to yourself in this current reality, right? And then write a letter to your future self, the self you want to be. Okay. I think it does it for this reading today. Sending love and light to anyone that is open to receive it. Thank you, Maiden, Mother, and Crone, for the guidance, the courage, the clarity for us to speak our soul's truth. I don't remember that, Crystal. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Would you like me to pull a card for you for general guidance? Since I'm done with the reading, I can pull a card from the Maiden, Mother, or Crone for you. Awesome. Which archetype would you like me to use? Okay. I'm going to go with the Crone then. She brings the clarity. She brings the truth. She brings that deep ancestral knowledge, right? Crone, can you please give us guidance today? General guidance. One card for Crystal. What does she need to know in her life right now? What general guidance can bring her the most clarity and direction, please? Okay, that one popped right out. Ooh, Crystal. Got the Magician. This is one of my favorite cards in the tarot. So to me, that's telling me that you're in a powerful energy right now. You may not believe you are, but right now you have everything you need to create the life you want, to manifest the life you want. And there's a lot of darkness in this card, right? Because this is a dark deck, but maybe you're afraid to take a chance on yourself. Maybe you've lost trust in yourself. You've tried things before and it hasn't worked out. But Spirit's coming through saying, you have everything you need. You have the magic inside you. You have the power. You have the emotional stability. You have the mental clarity. You have the groundedness, right? You have the willpower and drive and spirit's blessing to pursue whatever it is that you are uncertain about. You can really manifest whatever it is in this life, but you have to use all four of those energies, right? We can't just manifest with our mind. We can't just manifest with our emotions. We have to make sure we're manifesting by taking inspired action, right? That fire energy in the world, in the earth energy. And check in with yourself. Maybe you're having some resistance in your body. Maybe you are struggling. I can't do it like what I told you earlier. Maybe you've lost some trust with yourself. But I tell you this, throughout the series that I've done, these 30 days, one of the reasons I decided to do it was because I had lost a lot of self-trust with myself. I wanted to do things and I just would never finish doing them. And as the series has progressed, every time I show up and invest in this for myself, to reconnect with myself, to say, "See, I'm not abandoning you. See, I'm gonna show up for you. I'm gonna do the things that you need to do." Each day, it gets easier. And each day, that showing up from the previous day fuels showing up for the next day. It's like a tumbleweed going and growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger because your soul is excited once you start trusting yourself, using your magic, stepping into the power that you have to change your life. But you have to believe you can do it. And I believe you can do it because this card wouldn't have come out if you couldn't. So that's what I have for you, my love. I hope that helps. I will say, Crystal, that excuse me, so sorry. This is day 28. I have 2 more days. Hi, Alex. And then on day 30, which is Monday, I'm going to be doing, should I tell you guys? I haven't been saying exactly what it is, but the finale is going to be a finale and it's going to be fantastic. So I highly recommend you tuning in. I'm going to make an announcement on the in my community board to everybody on Sunday or on Monday to let you know what time it'll be. But there will be a lot of choice in that reading live. So I hope you join. It'll be interesting. It might be challenging to do that live. We will actually have some breaks in between. If you don't know what I'm talking about now, hopefully you can figure it out. I'm doing a pick a card live on Monday. But yeah, so show up there if you really enjoyed your personal reading, and then maybe Spirit will speak again. Not maybe, Spirit will speak again. It always does. Alex, can I offer you a 1-card pull tonight? I'm not sure if that's you or Crystal left. Ooh, whoops. Sure, awesome. Okay, cool. Let me clear the energy real quick. Crone, can you please give us some general guidance for Alex tonight? Thank you, Alex. What does Alex need to know? What piece of information would be the most beneficial for Alex in this moment, in the now? Clarity, please. Crone. Ooh, okay. A lot of cards were wanting to come through there. That's the one, though. 3 of Swords. Ooh, okay. This reading before now may have been what you needed to hear. 3 of Swords. Heartbreak, right? Pain. Suffering. You know, this could come out in a bunch of different ways. It could be self-inflicted pain. I was talking about losing trust with myself earlier, and that causes a lot of pain. It could be, as this reading was about, with the loss of a relationship. So that could have been it. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be anything, right? This energy is all encompassing of pain, and pain can show up in so many ways. But I appreciate you allowing me to read for you, because in this channel, what I'm trying to create is a community of people that are willing to open up and be vulnerable about what they're going through. I do that. I tell you guys what I'm going through all the time, because if we don't do that, then others are going to be afraid to tell us what they're going through, because they're afraid we're going to judge them. They're afraid that we're going to make assumptions and try to, I mean, maybe we don't want a solution. Maybe we just want to talk about what we're going through. And that's okay. But we don't have safe spaces like that in the world. So I'm really trying to create that here. So if you ever feel super overwhelmed with this pain, you don't have to tell us what it is. Just let us know you're struggling, right? And we'll be there to give you words of encouragement, words of truth and love, words of truth about how you're worthy. It doesn't matter what you produce. It doesn't matter if you are messing something up. It doesn't matter if you've lost a lot of people in your life and you feel like you're responsible. Your worthiness doesn't come from that. Your worthiness comes because you're a person, because you exist, because you are a spiritual being, eternal, limitless, open to infinite possibility and experiences. Some other truths we might speak here. You're safe. You're safe to be who you are, in whatever expression that may be. You're safe to share the things that no one else will let you talk about. Because here we're going to support you. We're going to come with a lens of curiosity and understanding, right? We're not going to try to make anyone fit into a box, because our souls weren't meant to live that way. So that's what we're trying to do here. That's the community we're trying to build. I see another viewer. I'm offering 1-card pulls for anyone that wants one. I just did Crystal and Alex. So if you would be interested in a pull, let me know in the comment or the chat what your name is, and I'll be happy to pull for you. Like I was just talking about this 3 of Cups, this community that we're building here. So, and Alex, to answer your question, there's like a delay on the chat. I'm doing very well, and I'm so happy you're here tonight. I'm so happy Crystal was here. I'm so happy everyone that has been tuning in is here. I'm a little bittersweet about this getting close to the end of the series. So hopefully I will be able to start some new challenges soon. All right, last call, friends. If there's anybody other than Crystal and Alex here that would be interested in a 1-card pull, please let me know in the chat what your name is so I can ask for guidance and tune into your energy. Would you guys be interested in series that talk about or teach you how to read tarot, but through the lens of ADHD? That's what I'm considering doing next. So I'd love to know if that would be interesting to you guys. All right. I don't see any other comments. If you did put something in the chat and I don't see it until after the live stream ends, I will go back and look at it tonight when I'm uploading the timestamps for the replay. And I will read for you tomorrow if you tune in tomorrow night. Or maybe in the afternoon, I'm not sure. So subscribe so you don't miss the live notification. I still don't see anything, so I think that's it. But again, thank you so much, my friends, for letting me read for you, for tuning in. I encourage you to use your voice, speak your truth, allow the truth to flow freely from you. And I'd like to remind you that in this channel, I always want you to remember that you come as you are, and then you stay as you become. Goodbye, my friends.